Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A Calder home has been reduced to rubble by a ferocious fire overnight. Fire investigators sifting through what was left today as those first on the scene were praised for stopping the blaze from spreading to nearby bushland.
A Calder home burns to the ground in a matter of moments. Firefighters confronted with flames too fierce to stop.
When the crews arrived last night, they said it was extremely intense. The fire was going from one end of the house to the other.
Nobody was home at the time. The owners understood to be away on holidays. The blaze took hold at 2:30 this morning. Hours later, investigators were sifting through the ashes for answers. A tough task with many clues difficult to find because the fire was so intense.
Today we're just trying to determine what the cause of the fire is. So at this stage we're just trying to locate the origin of where the fire started, and once we've done that we'll try and determine the cause.
The total damage bill is not yet known. While there was little crews could do to save the home, luckily they were able to stop the blaze from spreading to nearby dry vegetation.
Firefighters that first arrived did a fantastic job in stopping it spreading. The vegetation is very dry and they stopped it from spreading into the pastures and the local bush surrounds.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A woman is tonight in a serious but stable condition after she was hit by a truck in Burnie this morning. The 56-year-old was crossing the junction of Catley and Wilson Streets when the crash occurred. The woman was flown to the Royal Hobart Hospital. The 59-year-old truck driver was uninjured. The incident has prompted a plea from police for drivers to take care around busy areas such as schools and town centres. And a 24-year-old Belgium tourist is tonight in a stable condition in the Royal Hobart Hospital after being involved in a serious crash near Cradle Mountain yesterday. Police say she was travelling with a 24-year-old man at the time when their four-wheel drive flipped and rolled down an embankment. He was taken to the Northwest Regional Hospital in Burnie with serious leg injuries. Investigations are continuing. In a shock move, the State Labor Party has given up on its flagship poker machine policy. Its plan to remove the pokies was key to its 2018 election campaign, but it was today ditched by leader Rebecca White.
Little over a year ago, the Tasmanian Labor Party announcing its bold policy to remove all poker machines from pubs and clubs if elected in March 2018. But Labor lost the election and today it's giving up on pushing for change.
We also can't deliver on our commitment around pokies because we no longer have the capacity to renegotiate the agreement.
Saying the party would still like to see pokies removed but has no power to implement change. So it's backing away.
We need to see what the government are currently negotiating because if they're locking us into something until 2043, we need to know what it is.
The policy key to the election campaign, a differentiator between the two major parties. The change of heart today met with criticism from political counterparts.
Insulting not only every Tasmanian that voted for them on the basis of their pokies policy at the last election, but insulting all of those Tasmanians who are doing it so tough.
More and more we were hearing rumours and gossip that Beck was under pressure, great pressure from federal Labor to drop the policy. And today she has in effect dropped the policy.
The Liberal government still has to introduce complex legislation into the Parliament for the new poker machine licence deed.
We'll do it at an appropriate time over the course of the term of this government to ensure that we can not only deliver on our public policy but also ensure that the process is proper and that the right framework is put in place.
Frankly, I'd like to see what the government are putting forward. What are they negotiating? Why haven't they brought it to the Parliament? Exactly what is going on that they won't tell Tasmanians?
Critics saying there was still time to advocate for poker machine removal.
Even if that deed is signed, that does not hold a future state government to that agreement. The deed can be varied.
But for now, Labor is keeping a low profile. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
A Supreme Court judge has today found the decision to not disclose legal advice about proposed changes to the state's gun laws was wrong. On the eve of the state election, the government announced a policy change which would amend current firearm laws. Gun Control Australia requested information which had been provided to the Premier but was rejected. So the organisation escalated the case to the Supreme Court.
A matter of advice from the Police Minister to the Premier, which we would expect to be in a document, would easily be released and is a matter of considerable public interest.
And RTI processes are handled independently of politicians, so it's not for me to direct what should or shouldn't be released. It's for the process to be followed, and where we need to review that process, including following a court determination, we'll do so.
Justice Michael Brett today ordered that refusal be set aside and be reconsidered in accordance with the law. The Tasmania Fire Service is continuing to monitor blazes burning across Tasmania following weeks of fires at emergency level. There were no reports of blazes breaking out from existing containment lines, and crews are still undertaking impact assessments and identifying trees which could be dangerous. Aircraft resources are still being used to map affected areas, waterbomb fires and identify hotspots. While all fires are now at advice level, Tasmanians are reminded to remain vigilant as conditions can quickly change. Meanwhile, the state's severe bushfire season has spurred the Australian Greens to commit $500 million to fund a national disaster response unit if elected. Tasmanian Senator Nick McKim was joined in Hobart by Federal Party leader Richard Di Natale, announcing a plan to broaden nationwide responses to natural emergencies.
Include helicopters that could not only help with fire response but help with flood rescue, and also up to 200 people who would be trained in all aspects of emergency response.
We need to have the aerial capability, and we need to have the people to hit these fires early when they first occur and to ensure that we prevent them from spreading into catastrophic wildfires.
The proposal also comes amid the destructive flooding in Townsville in Queensland. Hobart's Wooden Boat Festival has officially kicked off today, opening with a very special and unique parade. The River Derwent was jam-packed with hundreds of vessels, all keen to take part in the iconic Parade of Sails.
Wooden boats large and small taking over the river. Today's Parade of Sail celebrating the official launch of the 25th Wooden Boat Festival.
We'll get tens of thousands of people wandering around the site over the next few days with a huge smile on their face. Whether they're old, whether they're young, family groups, people who are in wheelchairs, everybody's here, they're all having fun.
Just around the corner, a celebration of a different kind, the unveiling of one very special little dinghy. Named the Vanessa G, after Tasmania's late Attorney General Vanessa Goodwin.
It's a very special day for us. It just shows to us how much Vanessa was loved by the people of Tasmania, and this is a great honour in memory of her.
We found the dinghy about 9 months ago in an old shed at Craddock in a really dilapidated condition. Needs lots of love and attention.
First built in 1915, the boat spent the last few months at Risdon Prison. Lovingly restored back to its former glory by a number of inmates keen to sharpen their skills.
None of them had worked with woodwork before, so the fact that whole new skills for them, but also the fact that working with a different team, the communication, the teamwork has just been very positive.
I'm absolutely thrilled to bits. I'm so pleased that the Rotary Club got hold of it and involved the prisoners, and an end result like that is absolutely magnificent.
On Sunday, it will be auctioned off to the public, all proceeds going back to the Justice Department to continue its inmate woodwork program. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Some lucky teenagers had the chance to meet their sporting idols today, with players from the Hawthorn Football Club visiting Hobart and Launceston High Schools to share career advice, discussing life after school and the range of opportunities a career in football can offer.
When you look back on our time at school, you don't really think about these things. You sort of wonder, if you had those inspirations along the way. So it's nice to be able to give back and to see the change, and I suppose, try and inspire people to continue down a similar path.
Create a broader perspective on where they're going what the opportunities are. It's not just playing football. There's a mountain of careers and roles that sit underneath that, player on the field.
The Beacon Foundation has been offering advice to young people for over 30 years. Now to a story of amazing survival. The little girl you're about to meet was once Australia's smallest premature baby. She wasn't meant to survive, but defied the odds and today celebrated her very first day at kindy.
Bursting with energy, this little lady was all too keen to take her first steps into kindy, a sight her parents never thought they'd see. Amelia wasn't expected to make it, born at just 25 weeks, when her mum developed preeclampsia.
We didn't even think she'd survive, to be honest, and to come this far and to be so healthy, yeah, it's just amazing.
Very lucky.
The odds was stacked against her, but she proved time and time again that she's Tassie's little fighter.
All odds, just she fought them. She had her moments where we didn't think she was gonna make it, but she's a trooper.
At the time, she was the country's smallest baby, about the size of a pen, and weighed just 460 grams. That's roughly a tub of butter.
There was a baby born some 12 months later that was actually 360 grams, so that made her look big in comparison, if you can believe that.
Her family now want to give back to the Launceston General Hospital that helped them when they needed it most. A fundraising game of footy will be held on April 13, with all gold coin donations going towards new hospital equipment.
Yeah, hope to make a little bit of money to buy some lounge chairs, some equipment for the courtyard, something for the siblings to play with while the parents are busy in the paediatrics neonatal unit.
He's also putting the call out for other NTFA clubs to take part, hoping other sick children can grow up to have a bright and happy future. Jessica Moran, 7 Tasmania News.
To cricket, and the stage is set for one of the most highly anticipated Big Bash games Blunston Arena has seen, with the Hurricanes securing a home semi-final overnight. The Canes came out strong with the bat before the side's attack recovered from a horror start to get the job done.
After another snub from national selectors, Matthew Wade let his bat do the talking yet again.
Could be a sixer.
Darcy Short doing what he does best and sending it into the Blunston stands. Wade's run eventually coming to an end on 58, followed by Short just 2 balls later. Ben McDermott set about salvaging the innings, but things didn't go all his way.
I hope he's all right there, Ben McDermott.
Simon Malenko doing his bit for the cause with a quick-fire 27 to leave the Renegades chasing 184. Riley Meredith off to a shocker with the ball, conceding 23 runs in the first over to make life difficult for the Canes' attack.
Oh no, oh no.
The young quick redeeming himself by claiming the important scalp of Dan Christian at a crucial point in the match.
The fact he didn't drop his head at all and came back and got that wicket late, I think showed a lot of character. Now I'm really excited to see what he does now for the next couple of games. I think we'll see a really good Riley Meredith.
The Canes' new import claiming Aussie opener Aaron Finch in his debut as the home side recovered from a shaky start to get themselves back in the box seat.
Really good for our bowling group to know that, when things are going badly, which they inevitably will be at some point in the 20 overs, that we can actually bring it back and we can hold the momentum a little bit and still win the games.
The 16-run win securing a home semi-final, with the coach playing down injury concerns for Simon Malenko ahead of their final game of the season against the Sydney Thunder on Saturday night.
It was more precautionary to get him off. He actually probably wanted to stay out there, but in the context of the game, it was just important to make sure we iced him up early enough and got him off, but no, he'll be fine. We get to go to Canberra now and just tidy up on a couple of things and get ourselves ready for Thursday.
The Hockeyroos and Kookaburras have done some last-minute fine-tuning ahead of their FIH Pro League matches in Hobart over the weekend. The women will take on 2 quality opponents in China on Saturday, followed by their clash with the Germans on Sunday.
Played China recently at the Champions Trophy. We had a tough game against them, and we haven't played Germany since I've been at the helm in 2 years, so we're looking forward to that.
I'm really excited to see how many people come out and support. A huge opportunity for them to watch the Hockeyroos and the Kookaburras in one day is I'm really looking forward to it.
Tasmanians Josh Belts, Eddie Okinen and Jack Welsh will line up for the men's side when they take on Germany on Sunday. And Melbourne-based horse Cossatot has shown why it warranted favouritism for today's Tasmanian Derby at Hobart's Elwick Racecourse. After sticking with the front of the pack for most of the 2,200-metre race, the 3-year-old gelding made its move on the home stretch to upstage Glass Warrior and Twilight Run to claim its first Derby victory. The action continues at Elwick on Sunday for the annual Hobart Cup. Finally in sport, Launceston's Elfin Sports Centre will play host to a Tasmanian first this weekend when it hosts a 3x3 hustle event, pitting 3 players from sides from around the state against each other for the inaugural state title.
I think it's around 76 teams competing at junior level in a 3-on-3 comp, which internationally now is growing rapidly, is becoming an Olympic sport.
A new pathway for players in Tasmania to go, and winners were moving on to the Big Hustle National Championships later this year.
The competition starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
It's been partly cloudy across the state today with some showers in the west and far south. 23 was the top in Hobart, Launceston and Devonport 24, Burnie 22. 27 was the state's high recorded at Friendly Beaches, St Helens 25, Flinders Island 22, Smithton, Low Head and Ooze 21, Strawn 19 and a top of 17 at Lyowini. From the satellite we can see low-level clouds streaming across the state from the west with a weak trough moving up the east coast. On the bigger picture, a cloud band with embedded thunderstorms moving over eastern Victoria and into the Tasman. Tomorrow the chart shows a cold front just off the east coast of the state, and over the mainland a ridge building through South Australia, the Northern Territory and WA. On the waters, northwesterly winds reaching up to 35 knots about the southeast, swells 3 to 4 metres in the west and south. And we've got a few warnings in place too, a gale warning between Sandy Cape and Stanley, a strong wind warning for the rest of the coast and a small craft wind alert for the lakes. And we'll see showers across the state tomorrow. Hobart with a top of 17, Medina 15, Oatlands 16, Launceston a top of 20, Devonport 19, Lyowini just 11 degrees. Burnie showers clearing, some wind about as well, a top of 19, Strawn 17, Marrawar 18. St Helens tomorrow, showers clearing, 20 the top, 19 for Swansea, Orford 18. And the UV still very, very high. Looking ahead to Sunday now, showers about the west and far south, but fine elsewhere. Showers in the west and north of the state on Monday, fine everywhere else. And Tuesday, showers statewide, contracting to the west and far south later in the afternoon. Looking further north tomorrow, hot and sunny in Perth, possible storms for Sydney and Darwin, and showers for Adelaide, Brisbane and Melbourne. And finally, let's take a look at the current conditions. That's all for today's weather, Joe. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too, Britt. Lovely to have you with us this evening. Well, that's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a little later. Bye-bye.